Alright, what's up everyone? I'm going to be doing just a quick breakdown of this new strategy I've been doing, which is exactly the same as the strategy I've already been doing, just with a way, lower time frame. So you're usually going to be in a trade between like 10 seconds to maybe 10 minutes. So I'm going to break that down here. Just wanted to say too, before we get into this, that if you want to learn the actual strategy and how I use it on the 1 hour time frame, then you can go watch my 4 day boot camp video. It's just day 1 and 2 goes over my whole entire strategy and how I use it on a daily basis. Plus, if you want to just join my Discord in the bio, you can come trade with me every morning during New York sessions. Trade live in our calls here. So let me open up TradingView, and I'm hopefully going to be taking a trade with you guys here while I break this trade down that I took earlier today. Also in the Discord with everybody in there. So if you want, you can just come there, trade your strategy, or you can copy trade me if you feel like it. But let's break this down. So basically let's I'm gonna look to see if there's any trades like right now before I'm gonna break it down. Don't worry about that, but I want to make sure that there is there was a trade that just played out on silver and gold, I believe. No, not on gold, I don't think. Never mind. Yeah, there was a trade that played out on gold and silver, so I might have missed out on the two setups. But that's okay because, like I said, it's every 15 minutes. So a setup could happen potentially any 15-minute candle or in a, hourly time frame. Right here. Get into it right here. So this is I guess before I actually break down a live one, I should make a little, do a little breakdown of just what it is in general. So basically, you come onto the 15-minute time frame, right? And you look for candles that are either you have to see and just look what they're doing. If they're either, closing like this, if they're closing higher, or if they're closing lower like we did today, and I took a sell here. So this is just going to be a bearish example, but then it's just the exact same for, a regular just buy. So let's say this is your 15-minute candles here, and kind of drew this a little bit too close to the actual charts here, but doesn't matter because this is the main one. Well, this one, wait, yeah, so this one right here is going to be the main candle right here. So you're basically seeing what direction they're closing and if they're breaking outside of ranges. So the first initial candle is always going to be your range. As you can see, we had a candle break outside of this candle range, and the range is from the top wick to the bottom wick. So we had a breakout. So that means this candle right here, the one that broke outside of this one, that wick that just got broken out of, that's going to be your initial just POI, where price is most likely wanting to come back into. Sorry, my bad. And then now we have something right here called a liquidity sweep or a draw on liquidity entry, and I'll break these down as well. So basically what you're doing, you're coming onto the market, you're seeing that this candle closed beyond a range, you mark out its POI, you mark out the top wick to the bottom wick, basically just this second candle's range, and you're waiting for that third candle to either open up, break back below this draw on liquidity, which is usually I'm going to save that for the last one. You're going to want to see what the most ideal is. You're going to want to see price open up after this candle right here closes and either wick back up into let me get rid of this one and put it like right here. Just imagine this wick right here is this one. But you're going to want to wait for price to either wick up into here, and on the 1 minute time frame, you're either waiting for price to break above this POI, this original one, and then break back below to enter to target this draw on liquidity, or just a 1-to-1, which is what I like to do. Or you can wait for price to pull back all the way up into here, sweep the high of this 15 minute, and enter off of a break back below to target the POI. So now let's get into this right here. If the candle opens up and it doesn't want to pull back into any of these and instead pulls into the draw on liquidity, which is where usually your take profit will be, then if price pulls there first and breaks back above, now you can take a trade up to this level here. So let me draw out or add some of these in here and what that'll look like. So basically you're waiting for either price to pull back into here, this liquidity sweep. However far it pulls back up above, that's where your stop loss is going to be. Let's say you entered off the break below right here, and you're just targeting, a 1-to-1. And then I'm just breaking down basically all the different types, like where you'll be entering in off of these levels. Oh wait, I'll just move it onto this one actually. And there's one last one right here. So yeah, this is what you're kind of waiting for. You're either having price pull back into one of these levels to either take a sell on this level, or take a buy off that draw on liquidity if it hits this first. And then same for a buy, but if you just flipped it. So just for like a quick little kind of thumbnail, we're just gonna like draw out what these actually are. A POI is the same as like, well, it's not exactly the same, because an area of interest is like an actual box, like an area. These are like specific levels on the chart you want to see price pull back into. So let's add liquidity sweep entry POI entry, and we're gonna add draw on liquidity entry. So yeah, draw on liquidity is usually just where your take profit's gonna be. But like I said, if it pulls into that draw on liquidity first, which I'm going to break down in this example and why I could have taken 2 trades on the draw on liquidity entry. So these are going to be your main, focuses right here. Just draw on liquidity entry, POI entry, and liquidity sweep entry. So let me just put this like somewhere where it's going to be like kind of visible, so the thumbnail can actually see that shit kind of good. Alright, that's good enough. Okay, let's get into the actual breakdown of this strategy and the trade I took today. Holy shit, there's a lot of lines. I don't know why my thing's like glitching. Boom. All right. So right here, we had this 15-minute candle, and let me break down the whole entire thing, what I saw from start to finish. So I went on to the daily here, right? Saw that we are in a bearish candle range on the daily. What was that? Cats are like fucking brawling. I don't know if you saw that, but my cat just like scurried away. But basically, we have this candle right here. This candle right here closed beyond all these ranges. So we broke out of this range right here, making this one the new one because we closed outside of it. So now this is the new bearish range on gold. So now if we get a candle to break above or below, we're going to either continue bearish if we break below this range or continue bullish if we break above this range. So we're bearish on the daily. We're still inside a bearish candle range. We go to the 4 hour. Right here, we're still inside this one, which I'm not really going to count because when it's that far away, just on the lower time frames, it doesn't really matter. But regardless, we have this candle right here breaking beyond this range, and then we kind of just kept going lower and lower. And then as you can see right here, this candle closed. Oh no, it's still inside this range here, but this, we're still inside this range here, essentially. We're still inside there. We broke out of it right here, and now this is the candle and where I entered off of in there. So we have daily candles, 4 hour candles, all closing lower. We go to the 1 hour. We have candles obviously closing lower on the 1 hour. Not closing bullish, we're closing lower. And then we go to the 15 minute. And what do you know? We have candles closing lower. So we had this 15-minute candle right here close beyond, let's break it out here, this candle's range. So we had that candle right there. And I know on like my actual strategy that I trade with the 1 hour and 1 minute, it's not this is the one thing that's different from the 1 hour and 1 minute strategy to now this micro scalping 15-minute and 1 minute strategy. Technically, we're inside of oh wait, I almost fucked up there. Nope, we're still inside of a bearish range. I thought we were inside of a bullish range, but no, we're inside of here. But anyway, that doesn't matter. Where candles are closing lower. This 15-minute closed beyond this bearish candle's range. So, like I said, the bottom of that range is your first POI. If you're bullish, then it would be the top of that range. So let's go to like a bullish example. So if this candle right here got closed beyond, so this range right here got broken out right here. The top of the box right here, top of that range slash this wick, this would be your POI. And you're going to wait after this one closes for that third candle to come back and pull into here and break back above and give you that entry. And I'll show you this on the 1 minute now because we had this candle right here, close beyond this bearish candle. So you have your POI, your liquidity sweep level, and then your draw on liquidity level. The top of the range, or the top of the range, bottom of the range, and then the POI level. So let's go down to the 1 minute and see where it pulled back into. Boom, right there. So we had price pull back, wick up into this level. And that's another thing I'm adding to this micro scalping strategy. I don't think I'm adding it to my 1 hour and 1 minute CCT / ICC strategy. Is basically what I wait for on the 1 hour and 1 minute strategy, because I'm applying this, but literally on a 1 hour candle, not a 15-minute candle. So, but on a 1 hour and 1 minute, I'll wait for a candle to actually close above the POI or any of these. Once price closes above, then I can enter. But what I'm adding on this micro scalping strategy, and so the 15-minute and 1 minute, is even if price engages with any of these levels, even if it's just a wick, it doesn't matter, because it engaged with it. It just didn't close. So right when we engaged with it and closed, and then that's the entry for this micro scalping strategy. Usually on the 1 minute or the 1 hour and 1 minute, I'll wait for a candle range flip or that's kind of what this is right here, the entry for this one, but I'll usually wait for like an IFVG, so an inverse fair value gap, wait for a shift of structure or a candle range flip. And on the 15 minute and 1 minute, this strategy, you're just waiting for candles to start closing lower. So the second prices, or the second candles right here, are making its pullback up into this level, because it could have kept going up until here, or what you wouldn't enter right here. It needs to be tapping into a range and then closing back below, whether it's just a wick or not. We closed back, even if it went all the way up here. So it made its pullback up into here, just wicked into it, and then this candle opened, wicked, and started closing bearish because we closed outside of this 1 minute candle range. Basically just like an engulfing. I call it a candle flip because, this is the candle range and we broke outside of it. So a lot of other people call it that too. So I entered right here, right after the close of this candle, and my stop was literally at this wick right here, just at the very top of this move up here. I placed it there, and that's the thing, I could have placed my stop literally right above this candle, but I can't really give you a reason on why I don't do that. It's just I just look at previous levels, and previously price rejected here and moved down. So I want to have either my stop a little bit above it like this, or perfectly at it like that. And I just had it super tight, perfectly at it. We almost got stopped out, which let me see if I can. Oh, it already disappeared. But if you want to check out the actual trade, I posted it in my Discord and everything with everyone in there. And I just targeted a 1-to-1. So we entered, price kind of almost took us out, and then we moved perfectly to that draw on liquidity. So like I said, we have our POI level. That's our first trade we took. Entered off of this POI level for a sell. Could have entered for a sell up here, but then price pulled back underneath here, underneath our draw on liquidity level. And what I said earlier was that if price pulls back here and breaks back above, you can take buys off of this because you're expecting a pullback and just an adjustment back in the market. Sorry, once I have to bang my mouse. Wait, never mind. I thought usually when my mouse starts lagging, I have to hit it on the table to fix it. But right here, so you have this candle right here, came back into here, and then we broke back above that draw on liquidity level, so we could have held our trade realistically all the way down to that draw on liquidity. As long as it's 1-to-1, doesn't really matter. Still would have made the same amount. But right here, we had price candlesticks pull back into this draw on liquidity, break back above. Stop would have been below that lowest point there, which that's kind of why I had my stop above here, because this was the highest pullback point into the POI was right here, and then we did it again right here. So this right here is the highest point, so that's where my stop would realistically have to be for it to be a very high probability trade. And this right here, the bottom of this candle, is the lowest what do you call that, pull down, pull back to the downside. You know what I mean, just the lowest push down. That's where your stop is. Could have entered right off this candle, breaking back above the POI. You have your stop or your take profit for a 1-to-1, and boom, you would have literally hit your take profit within 2 candles off of both of these. Well, no, this one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. This one would have been 2 minutes. So yeah, you can literally be in a trade for literally 30 seconds with this. And basically how I've been using it is I only use it for Asia session or when New York session is moving slow. So if New York session is, moving how it usually moves really fast, then I'm going to use my 1 hour and 1 minute CCT strategy. But if it's moving slowly, then I'm going to use the 15 minute and 1 minute micro scalping strategy. And then if I don't take a trade at all during New York when I usually trade, I'll trade Asia session, but with the 15 minute and 1 minute only. I don't trade the 1 hour and 1 minute strategy during Asia session anymore. Just had to get that out there, because I don't want people to think I do trade that. So I guess I can get rid of this, because I just wanted to do a quick breakdown for YouTube. Let's see. This 30-minute candle is about to close in 8 minutes. So let's see if there's a 15-minute trade I can take. And there might actually be. If we start closing, like I said right here, even though we're in a bearish candle range, this does not matter. This right here does not matter. As long as we see candles on the 15-minute closing higher or lower, which in 6 or 7 minutes, if this closes up here, then we'll literally wait for, like I said, this right here. This would be the potential liquidity sweep level. This would be your potential POI, and your potential draw on liquidity. Let's just like put it right here for now, just in if this candle closes up there with that wick. You're just gonna wait for price to where's my little arrow? Yeah, right there. Just going to wait for price to either pull down into one of these and we take a buy, or if it pulls up into this one first, we take a sell for a buy. I was kind of explaining bearish examples, but this is perfect because now a bullish example might happen here. So I'll just keep those marked off. Not the draw on liquidity one, because obviously this is a more potential... This is probably the last point. This is going to pull. This probably isn't going to reverse and close lower. This is probably going to keep continuing higher. But let's see. Obviously, the 1 hour candles are closing lower. So this is kind of more of a counter trend trade because all the candles here are closing lower. Oh, see? Looking. Oh, there it goes again. Look at that. I can't. Okay, there we go. I gotta get a new mouse. This Apple mouse is kind of shit. So yeah, we're kind of taking a counter trend trade right now. So I'm like a little skeptical of wanting to take this. But like I said, higher time frames don't really matter because you're literally gonna be in and out of a trade within like maybe 10 or less minutes, even 30 seconds. So it's very quick. 15-minute on silver is also looking beautiful if we close outside of this. Our POI, liquidity sweep level, draw on liquidity level, and then we'll wait for price to open up, tap into one of them, take either a buy or sell. This one just did it, so we were closing lower on ES. This is a good example right here. We were closing lower on ES, 15-minute finally broke above. Now we are closing bearish on the 15-minute, so this would be the top of that candle is your POI. The bottom of the candle that closed through your POI, this would be, well, this would be your draw on liquidity, and this would be your liquidity sweep level. And it can pull back into any one of these as long as it does and breaks back above. That's all that matters. Let me make this like perfect. Here we go, and then make that perfect. Alright, let's go down to the 1 minute and see what's going on. So obviously you wouldn't have had an entry in here at all. Let me see, because you would have closed where? Right here. So the new one would have opened up and you tap back into it here. Here. Maybe there was an entry right here, but like I said, no candle range flip happened. Like this candle opened up, obviously we didn't break above this. Could have entered right here. Honestly, this is like your only entry because we wicked back into it and then we closed outside of this bearish candles. No, we're still inside of this one. That's why these candle ranges are so important. We're still inside of this candle range right here. We didn't close. We closed into here and then we didn't see any candles breaking or breaking out of any candles ranges. Like this would have been your potential buy right here. Your stop would have been below this point here, targeting a 1-to-1. But obviously that did not happen. But we have the next 15-minute candle closing in 3 minutes. So maybe we'll be getting a nice buy on ES. So I'm going to get... Oh, wait. No, I don't want to trade. I'm not going to trade on Top Step. I'm going to trade on my Lucid account. Because I have a Top Step 50K, Lucid 50K, and a one funded 25K. So we're going to trade this one. It looks like price is dumping, so hopefully we do get a bearish example here. Because honestly, that's the direction I want to be trading in. Obviously, because the 1 hour candles are closing lower here. We had a pullback, and now we didn't break outside of this 1 hour candles range, so technically we are bullish on this. But it looks like we're potentially going to start closing lower here. And then if we go to the 4 hour, we're obviously closing lower. Daily, not really closing, well, yeah, obviously closing lower. Just this was like an indecision candle. Weekly, still inside a bullish range, but, you know, bearish candle. So a lot of the time frames are in sync with this bearish one right here. So hopefully we can get this, because this is going to be the most perfect of all of them to take. So hopefully we can do that. Let's look at gold. Gold's really good too. Buys on gold. Look, I would rather take a trade on ES and NQ only because I don't like how everything's kind of bearish, and we're kind of going against this like push down here, this push down, daily push down. Like, I don't like that we're going against the trend of the market right now on all these time frames. On ES, we're not going against any of the trends. We're going with all of them. So this is going to be the most higher probability setup for sure, is going to be ES. NQ is obviously, you know, good too. I just kind of, and we're like during a big pullback, so most likely we are going to head a bit lower on here. I don't know why, but I've been just liking ES more than NQ. I don't know if that's just me, or obviously 30-minute candles are also closing lower as well, besides on NQ. But we do have it on ES, so... Oh, yeah, like after this, how this just closed too, I really like how this is looking. So we're going to go here. This candle just closed beyond this candle's range here and this one right here. So we have two POIs. We have a POI here. We have a POI here. Your liquidity sweep level is down here. And your draw on liquidity entry is right here. So there's all your levels in the chart that you want to see price go up into. Let's go down to ES. Wait, was that silver? Yeah, I wanted to see gold. Right here. So gold, draw on liquidity entry, POI entry, and liquidity sweep entry. So we're gonna see, I really want to see this right here though, and I can get rid of these. So this is your POI, this candle closed below here, your liquidity sweep entry there. I'm almost done. I'm getting close. I'm just trying to see if I can get a trade here while I'm doing this breakdown. Trying to... rice, by the way, so. You burnt the rice? Yep. So this right here, okay, there we go. So draw on liquidity, POI, and liquidity sweep. And now you're just waiting on the 1 minute for price to pull back into any of these. Obviously we wicked into there. Let me make it perfect. There we go. Perfect enough. Is it that bad? Mm-hmm. Could take a buy because we did wick into this draw on liquid. There we go. So we did wick into this, but that was like right when the candle closed. So I would need to see it now tap into it. Let's look at gold. Gold's going to the... Is that also at the liquidity sweep area? I believe so. Can make all these like not look so bad. Oops. Thanks I went on the one out. What the... Wow. Trying to make these all perfect, but alright. So there's those. We'll go here. Yep, so now we're waiting for a break above or either a strong wick above right now, which I guess we had here, so now we would need to see a big bearish candle closing below to get in for a sell on this. Stop would be above this right here. Entry would be somewhere right around there. And then we're just targeting a 1-to-1. Let's look at ES, see what's going on here. I really don't want to trade silver, so I mean, we did pull back into all these POIs though on silver, and now we're probably gonna start breaking back above, but yeah, no, I just don't feel like, because I feel like we're gonna have a super deep pullback right now. So I just want to trade ES. Actually, let me just put these back, because honestly, I think price is gonna continue heading higher, but I just don't know, because this is like so close to right here. I want to see price pull back into this one or lower into this one, but that don't matter. Oh, we missed out on an entry on gold, but that doesn't really matter because this is looking horrible. Yeah, this would have been our entry literally right here. Oh, this could completely turn around though. Let's look at ES again. Okay. See, I gotta be quick with this because now... Let's go here to trade. Oh no, damn. Wow, look at that. And it closes in 40 seconds. I can't really do anything off of that. So that kind of sucks. 14. Hell no. This is fine. Stops there. Well, now we're like, I mean, like, we could have taken a draw on liquidity entry, but now we're like literally at our POI where price can reject down from, you know? So now I don't want to be looking for buys on ES since we're at that POI level. But we are kind of chopping, like we had this candle, boom, and now we could have another push up from here. I don't know, I'll just wait for a wick. If a bunch of candles start, you know, wicking into here. Let me see the 5 minute. 5 minute is not closing how I would want it to. But anyway, that doesn't matter. Look at gold. Oh, okay. Yeah, so this was the only potential trade right here to take, but I ended up missing out on that. So I probably would have just taken a... Oh, no, I wouldn't have. If I would have taken that trade, that would be really dumb, because look at, we never broke outside of a candle range. Look at that. I thought we broke out of it, but we didn't. We stayed inside of it. So this bearish candle never broke out of it, so there was really no entry there. That's why I said earlier they're very important. Let me see. There's a draw on liquidity entry here probably soon, but I don't want to take that. MNQ. Do we even like tap into a POI on NQ? Oh, see, we did on NQ, but we didn't on ES. So I might enter this sell on ES. Just because... why is this like glitching? See, but like I said, NQ already tapped into that POI. And I'm just wanting to trade a 1-to-1, and this is the highest pullback so far of this move. See how like quick these happen though? Like these moves happen so quick. So quick. So yeah, if we get a flip down now, it's like, that's insane. Yeah, because we had this candle pull back, and then we just closed outside of a bearish range. Yeah, and we broke out here. Technically, we're in this bullish range, but I like the way this looks. Oh, wait, sell. I gotta move my take profit and stop loss. Sell. Perfectly exactly where I wanted it to be. Really, this right here would have been my entry. I just wanted to make sure, and now we'll put it a 1-to-1. Make sure this is a 1-to-1. So that'll be up here. Confirm. So yeah, these are like micro scalps. We'll see how this goes. So now, depending on how this candle closes in 8 seconds, I'll see where I put my stop. So now this traded 50%. Confirm my stop there. I want to confirm it there. There we go. I meant to do more. I guess 11 contracts was still not enough, but that's fine. Stop is at break. What? I don't know how to like put my stop. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It already hit that draw on liquidity right here. This is the draw on liquidity, and we just tapped into it. So I don't think we might not get a break further down, and that's probably why we perfectly rejected off of this area right here. So I wish I could move my stop, because the second, like, I want to be out, or out at, like, not at perfectly, because, like, you know, the fees. Because if my stop was right here, it would cover the fee. Oh, right here. There we go. Confirm. So at least we can, like, cover the fees, you know? So I don't know why. I guess I gotta get used to these scalps though, because these, I'd be risking too little on them. So close to the take profit, though. Look at that. I might just close this out here if we don't get it tapped into soon. So I'm just gonna keep trailing this, to be honest. Confirm, yeah. Boom. There we go. I just made $100 there. There's that trade. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 minutes. And now we are up about, because we took 2, doing this strategy, I took 1, took a loss of 116. This morning I did another one, made profit of 100, and then I just did this one and got a profit of 100. But there you go. There's a breakdown of the micro scalping strategy. Just kind of wanted to show you guys what I do now if I have a slow moving market like Asia session, or if, you know, New York is moving slow. I'll be doing this instead of my regular 1 hour and 1 minute CCTs. So that is it for me. Thanks for watching. And like I said before, join, where the hell is OBS? There it is. Like I said before, join the Discord. Trade with me live every morning if you feel like it. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter. I'm pretty active on there every morning, every day, throughout the day maybe. And fucking like and subscribe if you feel like it. Sorry, I look at myself in the computer and not at the damn camera. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Oh, yeah. If you want to use my code IMFX, all caps, to get 15% off all evals with one funded, that's in my link in the bio. Same with a Discord. And TradingView too. If you want, you can use my link. Get $15 off 1 month there. So yeah, go ahead and go do that. See you later.